Right, welcome back to the Young Fan Podcast and welcome to this match reaction for Oxford as we travel to the Valley to face Charlton Athletic in Sky Bet League 1. It's time to break it down from a tactical perspective, give my general thoughts on the match as well. Being back in the away end, it was brilliant to be back in the away end. A lovely stadium in the Valley, never been there before, but really enjoyed myself. Give me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Maybe you went to the game, maybe you're a Charlton fan, maybe you're an Oxford fan, maybe you're a neutral. Either way, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll be replying and responding to all of them as per usual. Getting into Charlton with the train strikes, difficult. I'll be honest, it was difficult. And driving there, it was a long one. But it finishes 1-1. And it could have been worse. It could have been a longer drive home. Let's put it that way. Starting with Oxford, general pointers, visible improvements from Oxford. And that, for me, is exactly what we wanted. If you'd have sort of said to me, what do you want to take from this? It would, of course, be the 3 points, firstly. But I completely understand that won't be easy. The way that we're playing at the moment and the way that Oxford have been playing since the start of the season, that will not be a guarantee whatsoever. You have to work for it, and we have to see a serious improvement. And we did see that. We definitely did see that. I'd also say, can we start putting our feet in the right direction? I think we saw that as well. I'd also say, could we be much better in the attacking phases? Could we improve the way that we I think look, going forward, look in those attacking areas? And we did. The 4-3-3 came back. Of course, we've had to sort of abandon that 4-3-3 that Carl Robinson has done, really, I think, adapted, improved and built into managerial success of at Charlton, MK Dons, and of course Oxford as well. Through injury availability, we had to sort of move back to a back three or a back five, however you want to look at it. We went to a 4-3-3 this afternoon, and it worked. It was key. I think it was really key in a much improved attacking performance from Oxford. Our letdown this year has been the lack of creativity, the lack of the wide areas, and ultimately the lack of the goals. And look, we only scored one goal, but we looked much better. In that first half in particular, going forward, the chance creation was like the Oxford of previous years. And that is exactly where we want to get to. We want to look like the Oxford of, 2 seasons ago, last season as well, where you felt as though there's going to be a chance, there's going to be another chance, there's going to be another chance. If you miss that one, it's fine, because you're going to get another one. If you can see, that's okay, because again, you're going to score 2, you're going to score 3, because you've got all these different attacking elements that we can implement in. And thankfully, it did look better this afternoon. It wasn't perfect. We draw the game 1-1 against a side like Charlton, who haven't been in great form either. And we did have some big chances. We probably should have won the game in that first half and probably killed the game off in that first half. Second half, much more equal, and probably Charlton's half, you'd say. We'll come on to that in just a second. But I did think that you could see a difference in the way that we were playing. And like I say, if you say, we asked me anything at the start of the day before I got into the game, before the game kicked off, I'd say, can we look like a side of last season? Could we have a little glimpse of previous years? And I did think we saw that. Some big chances missed, I think, for both sides, especially sort of near the end of the game. We had a huge chance. Joseph had a couple of chances and he couldn't convert. Billy Bowden had a huge chance with sort of just a few minutes to go. Then Dobson for them had a massive chance, a massive save from Simon Eatwood as well. Equalled that out with a really good stop. And it was actually a really good game of football. It really was a great game of football. And it was two sides that were desperate to win the game. These are two sides that have similarities in the fact that they haven't started the season very well. They have aspirations to be in and around that top 6. They have aspirations to be sort of really hunting down those playoff places and be in contention. And so far this season, they haven't been able to do that. So it was a game where both sides wanted to win, and you could see that. It was end-to-end at times. It was really attacking. It was play with such a high tempo, and it actually worked for Oxford, and it worked for Charlton as well. And it was a half where each side dominated. First half Oxford, I think, went with a much better side. Second half it was Charlton. By looking at the first half, Oxford looked sharp in attack. We used the wide areas much better. And I spoke about it, I think, in a match reaction a couple of weeks ago. It might have been MK Dons when I just sort of did it as part of the roundup on the Sunday. But I said the wide areas are so key to the way that Carl Robinson plays. The wide areas are pivotal, and we haven't been able to use them because we're playing a 5 at the back. You get the wing backs, but you're not playing sort of wingers or out and out attacking wingers in those fullback areas because you have to rely on them as well to come back and defend. But the 4-3-3 allows you to play with the fullbacks that can go up and can commit. But you've also got those wingers as well that can go forward and take defenders on, take fullbacks on, cut inside and score exactly how Marcus Browne did that. He got hold of the ball, and it was the Browne of old. It felt like the Marcus Browne of old. It reminded me of the Portsmouth goal in the playoffs a couple of years ago. getting hold of the ball, driving against the player, making it difficult, tormenting him at times, cutting inside and just taking a hit. And that's exactly what a player like Marcus Browne can do, and we need more from. But he proved this afternoon he's still got it. He has still got it. I was really impressed by Marcus Browne because he has been one player this season where I've gone, we need more from him. We need more from him. And I think this afternoon he proved that he has definitely still got it. And how important he is to a side like Oxford, who, when we're missing a spark, when we're missing a bit of magic, he can provide that magic. And we have been missing a bit of magic, and he is that type of player. He's a moments player, but if you can get a lot of moments out of him, you're going to be in for the money, and you're going to have a really, really good afternoon when he's on it, and he was on it. Sort of going through the notes there with the goal, I said here, yeah, it was the Browne of old, the dribbling inside, the taking the chance. And I thought, actually, we should have been a little bit better. Why's the camera done like that? Let's make sure that it doesn't do that. There we go. I think we need to take a shot more often. We need to take our chance when it comes. If you're gonna have if you can have a goal on goal, let's take a hit, because I think we're trying to be still a little bit pragmatic with the way that we attack, trying to pass that, trying to go with that one extra pass. And sometimes, you're better off just hitting one. You're better off just making the goalkeeper work. I thought Waller got the goalkeeper, did really well at Swindon, of course, last season. He probably should have done a little bit better with the goal. It was, it was fairly low. It wasn't in the corner from what I can remember, or the far corner. It was probably, probably for him to save. It was a good finish. I'm not taking anything away from the finish, but he probably could have done a little bit better with it. And I thought, but he did pull off some good saves in the game. I will say that. But I think you have sometimes got to test the goalkeeper, and at times we weren't able to do that, and that would be a little bit frustrating for me. Bate had a lot of opportunities where he could just hit it. Lewis Bate maybe not as confident in front of goal. He could do a little bit better, I feel, as though just by taking a punt, because you don't know what's going to happen if you just take a hit. Try that one extra pass, and you make that pass, and then it can sort of dribble out of play. If it's not hit right, it can roll out, and it can be a not good enough ball, and the fullback can get the defender can pick it up, and they can then go and hit you on the counter attack, which actually is where their goal came from in the second half. But coming sort of really quickly back to, actually, I put it on the first half highlights, but I thought generally across the game, Oxford pressed with purpose. We press with purpose. You can run at defenders, you can run at fullbacks, attackers can, and you can sort of say, we're pressing, and we can shout, press, but press with a bit of purpose. Press in the right way. Shut off those passing lanes. Make sure that they can't get out of difficult situations. When actually you're in a tight area, can you, like I say, cut off those difficult passing lanes that they want to try and get to? Can you stop them from counter-attacking, actually, and be maybe a little bit proactive instead of being reactive? I thought we were much better at that. I think we got caught once, and unfortunately we got caught the one time where they came forward and they scored. And that proves how important it is to make sure you do press with a sense of purpose. Charlton didn't. In that first half, they didn't. Second half, much, much better. First half, they didn't really do that, and they allowed us to sort of play out from the back with ease and actually dictate the game. Ben Garner sent those players out fairly early in that second half, for the second half, should I say. I imagine, quite a loud team talk. He was not happy, as I imagine boos at half-time for those Charlton fans. They're certainly not happy with their team's season so far, and in particular, their first half this afternoon. Or should I say today. And, they came out and they did look like a much better side. They certainly did see a reaction. I think Ben Garner's coaching staff did see a reaction from his players, much better from them. They made 2 half-time substitutions. Kirk came on, Lee Byrne came on. They went to a 4-4-2. Kirk, for me, changed the game. He changed the game on the left-hand side. He just caused a lot of problems for Sam Long and for other defenders as well, for Oxford, but in particular Sam Long, he was on that side. He was not afraid to take a player on. Similar to Marcus Browne, that left-hand side in the first half. He got hold of the ball, he wanted the ball. First half, I spoke to Tyler Rowlinson, an amazing content creator for Charlton. He follows Charlton on YouTube, of course, and he does sort of match reactions for it. I imagine he's doing a match reaction tomorrow, maybe tonight. And he said, I gave him a little DM and we were DMing through the game really, and he said as well, himself, they didn't want the ball in that first half. Charlton didn't want the ball. No real players wanted to get hold of it and try and make something happen. In the second half, Charlie Kirk did do that. He did do that. He wanted the ball. He wanted to cause a problem. And the goal came from his assist. It was a brilliant dink into the penalty area. And Stockley's a big lad, a centre forward that is amazing in the air. Brilliant dink from Kirk. And, of course, he's going to score it. Stockley in the air. He's a brilliant striker, physical, like I say, over 6 foot, just like myself. I'm not 6 foot. I wish I was. But it was a brilliant finish. And it was, of course, like I say, a really, really, I mean, it was a big moment for Charlton. It was a really, really big moment for Charlton, and one that they're going to certainly look back on and go, that could be a huge goal. And like I said, there were chances after that as well. We had a chance. With Billy Bowden quite late on. Joseph made a couple of chances, but Charlton looked much better on the break. I thought actually they dominated the game much better in the second half, but on the break they did also look quite deadly. And changed that 4-4-2, having Stockley and Leeburn, that caused sort of double the problem. Oxford had to sort of change the way that we defended, and we had to look trying to defend in different ways because those two are different type of strikers. Quite tall, actually, both of them. Stockley, much more physical. Leeburn likes to play sort of that last man advance forward. So that worked really well. But yeah, I was impressed by Charlton much more in that second half, and Oxford in that first half, we did look much better. And that's exactly what I wanted to see from them. And in the end, a draw probably is a fair reflection. You know, it could have been 2-2. You know, one side could have won the game 2-1. You don't know. But both sides were nowhere near where they want to be. It's fair to say that. But there were improvements, I think, for both of those sides. Important to sort of back this up now next weekend from an Oxford perspective against Wycombe. That's going to be the hope. That's how I feel now. We want to back it up. You want to sort of make sure you get the 3 points against Wycombe. It won't be easy, of course it won't. But when you get a draw like this, where you go, it wasn't amazing, it wasn't perfect, but you certainly take it, and there were certain signs of improvement and positives. Let's back it up on Saturday, and that's exactly what we need to do. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the podcast. A quick match reaction for Charlton against Oxford. My roundup will be coming out tomorrow. Hopefully I see you then as well. Subscribe, leave a like. Take care. I've been Jack. Have a good rest of your Saturday night. I'll see you on Sunday. See you in a bit.